All right, welcome into the Dynamo post-game show here on Soccer Matters YouTube. Thanks for everybody joining, and we're trying to make this a happening here. Certainly after every home game, if we can get enough people, we may even start doing it for away games as well. All right, Dynamo survived some early chances from the Portland Timbers. They come into this one looking for that first win. A lot of you asked during our pregame show, is there pressure? Yeah, I think there was pressure because you saw the emotion at the end of the game from Ben Olsen and the squad here. Look, this was about collective defending tonight. This is what led and carried the Dynamo last year to a fourth-place finish. And tonight they did it again. It's the first shutout this year for Steve Clark. He made a huge save in the very, very beginning of this game on Paredes in the beginning where he pushed it off the crossbar. Portland came out flying. Really, if you're the Portland Timbers, you have to cash in early. They don't. The Dynamo creep back into the game, begin to take control of it, get more of the possession. Now, the Dynamo on the end of the night here only had 9 shots, 3 on target, but the one that counted was Aliou Ibrahim. But the real architect of that play in the 43rd minute was Coco Carrasquilla. Plays an exceptional game tonight here. Coco will head off to play with Panama against Mexico on Thursday at AT&T up in North Texas. So he left in a really good way. I always love that when a player is headed off to national team duty and puts in a great performance like that. And he did it tonight. His outside of the football was the end product we're looking for. And along with Mikael, Coco, as we mentioned, Jan Gregush, I thought, had a good game. Aliou Ibrahim was dangerous, came up with the 1 goal. Credit to him for being around when a mistake was made, but really credit Coco Carrasquilla for hitting a ball with the outside of a foot that puts a goalkeeper into 2 minds, and he has to make a decision, and it's not a good one. Ball falls to Aliou, he delivers. So that's the 1-0 victory here tonight. All right, we got some people asking questions.
Yeah, Dylan, great result. Feels like the team had so many opportunities to make it 2-0 in the game. What else in the attack besides the number 9 does the team need? Feel like they could still improve out wide?
I think the 9 is the priority, a goal scorer. All depends on the resources you have. All depends on what maybe happens in the transfer window. This is goal scoring by committee. I'm not a big fan of goal scoring by committee. The Dynamo certainly, we learned last year, are an amazing collective defending team. A lot of that had to do with the improved possession. Thought their possession game was good tonight. Ended up having 58% of it. They conceded a lot of it kind of at the end of Portland. They did get the 1 goal they needed. At this point of the season, you take the victory. But, talk about clear chances. I don't know if they had that many clear chances. They certainly were in the final third. That's the thing. You have to carve out the clear chances, and then you have to take them. So it's really kind of the same story. I think they got a good wide game going with Griffin Dorsey, and I think they got enough of a wide game with Aliou. But you have to have 2 sides of the field of it to complement each other.
Does it feel like Pat and company need to bring in a higher quality U22 attacker like Seattle with De La Vega or LAFC with Martinez, or take a chance with another Nelson/Aliou type?
Well, that's what Pat said. I mean, if you listen to my radio show, Soccer Matters, he said that player that they're going to bring in is likely going to be like an under-22 initiative player. So, that's straight from the horse's mouth, the general manager.
Vicente, given Bassi the freedom to move between defenders like a false 9 was spectacular. You could definitely see Olsen's hand in the team structure and performance.
So both him, as we mentioned in the pregame show, both him and Bassi and Kowalczyk were kind of in that role, right? So the whole idea was to get them the ball in pockets and then get them support. I don't think they triggered enough transitional moments. I'd like to see more of that added, but listen, I think sometimes you have to come up with ideas, right, when you're not scoring goals. You only scored 1 goal, but it was enough to win here based on the collective defending and based on the possession. And it was against a very, very good team. It was the 2nd leading scoring team in the league. So you take it for what it's worth at this point of the season. He did that again. Again, this system yielded 9 shots, 3 on target. You're going to want to boost those numbers. But on the other hand, we all know football. It takes one moment, And I think there was a lot of positives to take away here for the Dynamo tonight. By the way, shout out to Jan Greguš, because the Slovakian is looking sharper. He also silently and calmly had a really good composed game to kind of balance off some of the energy of the Dynamo play. But I'll tell you, he linked all his passes up. He's very useful with the ball, very good decision making. So I give Jan Greguš some high props tonight.
No comments right now.
Okay.
What did you make of the team kind of holding Evander at bay in the first half, and then him essentially waking up in the second half?
Well, I don't know if Evander was held at bay or Evander just decided to take the first half off. Look, we saw Evander here when the Dynamo blew them out 5-0. And this booth that we're in here looking out at the field, he literally was right in front of us. And he basically walked almost the entire game. There was something bothering him that night. Now, look, 10s are temperamental sometimes. I don't think there's any question. Playmakers are temperamental. But he was outplayed by Coco Carrasquilla head-to-head tonight here. No question. Evander did come to life, and it made me a little bit nervous in the latter stages of the game, simply because he started getting on the ball near the Dynamo penalty area in the final third, drew some free kicks. And, of course, if you saw their last game, you saw what he did against New York City FC. Yep. So, all in all, though, Coco Carrasquilla 100% outplays Evander.
What do the Dynamo need to do to score more next week in Colorado?
Create clearer chances. And again, I think, historically you have a lot of very, very talented players in these high positions, but historically they're not goal scorers. So a lot of times you're hoping for them to come good. Now, Aliu's got 2 now. Now, maybe this is the year Aliu cracks 10 goals. I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
He's doing it from a wide position. He's exceptional there because when he's out wide, it's a lot of space for him to run and make those diagonals, and it's a real option for the Dynamo, especially without Hector Herrera right now. So, there you go.
Vicente, I know it's early in the season, but with LAFC, Dallas, and Austin dropping points, Houston moved up to 9th on the table. How do you think this team will go during the regular season?
All depends on the health of Hector Herrera. All depends on a goal scorer emerging. I don't know if you can go an entire season like you did last year, winning 1-0 games. I think you're going to have to score more multi-goal games. I know the Dynamo had 51 goals, but I think maybe 9 of them might have come in a game against Portland and LAFC. So if you take those away, so to me it's chance creation, health of Hector Herrera, and finding another potential goal scorer.
With Coco gone next week, who would you like to see step up into that role?
Well, you have Brooklyn Raines, who potentially can step into that role. Let's see who else on the Dynamo would potentially be there. I need to look, stunt my memory here a little bit. What do we have on the bench tonight? I think Brooklyn Raines has got to be somebody you go right to. Latif Blessing, this could be, you might get the first start for Latif Blessing. Yeah. So I think those are the 2 you look to right away. Latif Blessing, Brooklyn Raines. And Coco, I love the fact that Coco's on display against Mexico, right? I mean, I love that. Coco against Mexico and Panama, love that. Okay, the reason I'm moving my leg here is because I had surgery. That's why I don't know if those crutches are in the shot or not, but whatever.
Your good buddy Victor, this is not the year Aliu does 10 goals, but I'll do shots with you if he does.
I'll take that bet. In fact, I'll put $100 on it. He gets 10 this year. Victor Ariza?
Yeah, Victor.
I'll put $100 on it right now. He gets 10 this year.
You heard it here, Victor.
All right, Victor. Get out there and get working. I like C notes. What else we got? I like that one from Victor.
An appreciation post from Antonio. Hey, Glenn, loved your commentating today. Appreciate you doing these pre- and post-game shows. Your effort is appreciated.
Well, I like that. That makes me feel good. I love doing this for the fans. I just thought there's no Dynamo pre- and post-game show. If we can get enough people behind this, I'll consider doing the away games as well, if in fact you guys want that, okay? But I think a pre-game show and a post-game show, I think these are necessary elements for a professional soccer team, right? So we just decided to step up and do this. Justin Finger is helping dramatically here, and we want to keep it going. But you guys got to spread the word here. It's YouTube, Soccer Matters. Please boost the numbers. That'll motivate me. I need some motivation at this point also.
So along with that, as soon as you guys log into this or we go live, do us a favor. Hit the share button, share it to all your social medias so it pops up on your timeline, and then other people could join the YouTube channel and be a part of the show like you guys have.
Yeah, you guys got to help build it with me because it doesn't work without you. I mean, if it's just me here talking, it's no fun.
But the comments are good right now. With so many people stepping up and filling in right now, what does the starting lineup look like fully healthy?
Ooh, that's kind of a good one. I'm not sure we're going to get a starting lineup that's too consistent here in the very near future. I think ultimately if Sebas comes back, he can produce goals. Hector would come back into the team. I don't think there's any question there. A lot of times it doesn't look the same way as it does now early in the season. I think through injury challenge, I like the fact that the coaching staff and Ben Olsen came up. Look, you're not going to play Bossi and you're not going to play Kowalczyk up against center backs. You have to play them off them. And those two center backs tonight, they have to make choices. Do I go into midfield a lot with these tricky, skillful guys? So although it's not reaping enough shots, I think it's effective, and maybe more chances can be created in the next one.
Antonio, does Shevchenko come back to start when healthy? Barlow look immense. Tim and Mikhail are great.
I think Eric Shevchenko is the starter. I think he was brought here to be the starter. He has a level of experience. I thought Ethan Bartlow did great tonight. Look, he did well at the beginning of the season before Shevchenko came. Professional sports, guys. Guess what? Shevchenko was brought for a reason. He produced. He was a big part of getting to where they got last year, fourth in the West and then to the conference final. He's a hardened pro. He's a great guy for Ethan Bartlow to learn from. Now, I'll tell you, Ethan Bartlow's probably like, hey, I'm sick of, I don't want to be the understudy. That's a good thing. It's healthy. It's competition. It's something this squad didn't have, depth. But this is professional sports, and I think sometimes here in Houston, between the Dynamo and Dash, we're a little bit soft in not knowing that this is a profession, right?
Yeah.
You may win, and Ethan Bartlow may go home and doesn't play. He's not a happy guy. Yep. He's happy the team won, but tonight I thought he was excellent. Very good.
Couple real quick.
Yep.
Did you one little comment on this? Vicente wants to know Chivas or America tonight. Ken, what a game by Dorsey. Much love, Glenn. Rob Zip is asking me if I'm still a Union fanatic. The answer to that question is absolutely.
Rob, I had to toss him out of the booth for about 30 minutes of the second half, but you know what? At least he reveals the dark side. By the way, what did Pachuca do to the Union the other night?
It was the worst defensive performance I have seen from
No more Union talk. Back to Dynamo.
In a while, yeah. Antonio also spoke with several fans today. Everybody seems to seem Escobar seemed out of it. Is his mind elsewhere? Is that concerning? We need everyone all in to make this season work.
If you heard me at the beginning of the season, I made it very clear. Put a circle around Franco Escobar and watch him this year. Not because of the Messi thing. Because he was brought here to be a right back, okay? He's been playing left back. The emergence of Griffin Dorsey made him... He was asked to turn into a left back. I don't think that's the position he wants to play. I thought he played it superbly last year. Who knows? He may have wanted to go to Miami. Again, this is professional sports. These are human beings. He's got Messi's tattoo on his leg. That might tell you something. Played at the same club, Messi's boyhood club, Newell's Old Boys. But I think it has more to do with now, at this point, playing as a left back. So I think this is one to really keep an eye on over the long term. I don't know if he was out of it tonight. I didn't see him as hungry as normal, as combative to the level of his teammates tonight. But I like him as a player, and I like his spirit. But, he might be in a period where he's disappointed it didn't happen. And he's got to reclaim his game and be professional.
Let's hope that doesn't become a storyline this year,
I mean, these are things you look at from the outside, though, that you have to keep an eye on, right? Listen, Hector Herrera is a big story right now. We don't know if he's going to come back and be hitting all cylinders when he comes back. That's not a given. He's an older player now. I hope he comes back hitting all cylinders. I expect nothing less. But look, this is different. And who knows? If if this time off, for whatever the injury is, it's a knee, and I've heard a lot of doctors out there giving me advice on Twitter what the injury is. People telling me he's taking shots, and I'm like, what, are you in the doctor's room with him? I mean, come on. I mean, don't speculate on injuries. I think we know it's a knee. I wish we knew to what degree. I like that sort of transparency. I don't think that's there. The club doesn't want to do that. They're allowed to do that.
Officially on the injury report today, it was just a knee.
Yeah, so it just says knee. But that's a big piece to it, is how he comes back. Now, in the meantime, Coco stepped up tonight. Others are getting opportunities, so there's a lot of healthy things that go on. Now, if you lost tonight, people would be hitting the panic button. I don't think the staff would. I think the fans would, and I think you needed to win tonight, and they did.
You want me to run through the scores? And then
Sure, go for it.
All right, let's see.
Anybody out there? You want to hear the scores? I'll look and see if anybody's said anything to me on Twitter about the game.
Because it was brought up in the chat, yes, the Dash had a rough one tonight with their opening match, losing 5-1.
Well, I was enjoying watching the Dash game because I wanted to see. I had Fran Alonso on Soccer Matters the other day. Look, you got to give them time.
Yep.
And I hear people saying some really silly things. The team was better last year. The team didn't make the playoffs, okay? Couldn't score goals. He's trying to implement a more progressive style. I think you got to give Fran some time. Time will tell. It's not a given a manager can turn it around, but you're talking about a guy that has to turn around a playing system from when you lose the ball, you essentially drop off 90% of the time, to now a team where you don't have the luxury of just dropping off, that you got to go and hunt the ball. To implement this is going to take time. To get people to change their mindset and through repetition and this light goes on immediately, you lose the ball, is not going to be easy. So time will tell. I don't know a lot about him as a coach. He seems very passionate. I liked him in the interview. He's coached at Celtic in Scotland. So I think if you're jumping to the panic button right now, I would say take a chill pill, right?
This week,
but I will also say this. I like the fact that people want to have an opinion. I think it's a bit too much of a love fest sometimes with the Dash, right? I think we need to be concerned if we win or lose, and I think we need to talk about the tactics of the game and all this stuff. This is why this is making me very happy tonight.
Real quick, I'll answer some of these questions and I'll read off the scores. Vicente said maybe we could make some polls for the chat about team/individual performances in the future. I need to learn how to do that.
I'll give you a poll right now. Who's your man of the match? Anybody out there? Give us who your man of the match is. I think there's a lot of great choices. I know the obvious one, but
come up with a man of the match while I run these scores off, and then we'll see what happens. Chicago, Montreal. I actually watched that match before we came down here. Chicago scoring 3 goals in the last 15 minutes of that match to come back and win.
So let me just say something about Montreal. When you watch games in this league, the commentators were all so jacked that we're building teams up before, 2 and 3 games into the season. Montreal got like this massive build-up on their last game. And, they conceded 4 goals today. They lost, I think, the last game that they were in also, right? Was that Inter Miami, maybe?
I'm going to look right now.
I can't remember. But got to be...
yes. No, they won 3-2 against Miami.
Okay, so they came back to win it, right. But they're still a team in development, right? So here they are. They turn around. They give up 4 goals. So you're going to see a lot of this swaying of performance. You can't get too hyped over anybody. I think you got your traditional teams that are going to be there, and they're going to be there because they put a lot of resources into their rosters. But on the other hand, it's okay to have opinions now.
Suarez netting 2 for Inter Miami to a 10-man DC United squad.
Unbelievable.
Seattle Sounders.
All of you out there, even including me, who was like, if they get him the ball around the penalty area, this guy is world class. Mm-hmm. Even at his age in this league, some of the things he's doing. I heard somebody talking about him when he was at Liverpool. I don't know if it was Jamie Carragher. Jamie Carragher said when Suarez came to Liverpool, he was absolutely scared. He said he was scared of him in practice. He was that good. He was that good and he was that focused. So in the absence of Messi, he's leading the line. I mean, what has he got now? He's got He might be leading the league in goals scored, I think.
Messi, I believe, was tied heading into this match.
Yeah. I would also say, what do you think of Tigres playing Inter Miami here in the Leagues Cup? A lot of differing opinions about Leagues Cup, but I'll tell you, that's the reason why it's coming here. It's Tigres and Rayados country, so stick Tigres at Energy Stadium, and Lionel Messi, you might see him twice in the span of July and August. Once with the Argentine national team, you are for sure likely going to see him, barring injury, against Tigres. Go ahead.
Seattle Sounders.
Whip through these because we don't care about these teams.
Yeah. Seattle Sounders, Colorado 1-1.
Okay, we wanted that one.
Columbus.
By the way, that's a good result in Seattle, right, for Colorado?
Yes.
Okay, and now the Dynamo go to altitude.
Yep. Columbus 3-0 over New York Red Bulls. NYCFC 2-1 over Toronto. Austin FC and Philadelphia 2-2. FC Dallas losing at home to Vancouver 3-1. Minnesota 2-0 over LAFC. Nashville SC 2-1 over Charlotte. Sporting Kansas City 2-1 over San Jose. And currently in the 25th minute, LA Galaxy is winning over St. Louis City 1-0.
Okay, nice. Let me see what I got on here. Do you have any more people? If anybody wants to say anything at this point, I know it's Saturday night, but motivate me. Tell your friends about it. I want to get the soccer. I want to listen. I don't mind talking about a purple jersey and things like that, but I also want to talk about the game. And there's a lot of you who are incredibly knowledgeable. You're coming in with great questions. This is a part of it I want to drum up. We don't have enough of this in Houston. We don't get enough of this from mainstream media. So let us take control. Let us take control of our soccer community, right? And our soccer talk in Houston. We got outlets. We can do this if you keep following me, and we got the Soccer Matters every week. So it's up to you.
Antonio, man of the match for him was Ethan Bartlow. Noah,
I'll take that.
Aliou, man of the match.
Take that.
Vicente says Grey Goose.
I like Vicente's call. I thought Jan Grey Goose silently, right? I mean, of course, you can go to the goal scorer. You can go to Coco. I think Coco had a great two-way game tonight. I like Bartlow, and I'll tell you why I like that choice of Bartlow. That's because Bartlow has had to step in here and lift his game. So he's trained like a first-team guy. He's been prepared. He's done it. But I like the Grey Goose call, too, because that one's a bit underground, because if you watched him tonight, he was a very calming presence in midfield, and he was very helpful to Artur with the build-out.
Antonio, Ben Olsen just announced in his press conference that Sebas will be back next week.
Okay. So does that mean he's playing? I don't know. We didn't get the press conference.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that means he plays, or I think he mentioned to me that he would get to the bench.
All right.
But, hamstrings you got to be careful with. So I'm really looking forward to that Sebas story and seeing if that can come off.
Yeah.
And if he's got the work ethic, if he gives and bends a little bit, and if Ben Olsen and the staff give and bend a little bit. If they give and bend a little bit in both parties, and he can get off the snide and get a couple of goals or a goal early, you don't know what can happen. You can revive him. He'll be a comeback story in Major League Soccer.
St. Louis apparently just tied it up.
Okay.
One last one from Noah. How do you feel about Grey Goose and Siegel so far?
Siegel's a worker. He's a worker. Came out of Stanford, kind of like a Corey Baird, but he's a worker. He's going to have to score goals, though, if he wants to be a starter. And who was the other one?
Grey Goose.
Grey Goose started very slow, looked a bit stiff, but I see him coming into it. Tonight on the Apple local call, I don't know if any of you listened to the local call, but we're pushing local now that I didn't get selected for the full Apple thing. But we push the local, and I think local's important. That's why we've done the radio all these years and everything. That's why we're doing this. It's a service to a great fan base. But I think Grey Goose is growing into it. And listen, I asked Ben Olsen and Pat Onstad, I said, is this a sort of a... And I don't mean this derogatorily, because he has been an excellent player in this league. But is this a bit of a panic push here based on a thin midfield? And they said, yeah, it was urgent. We had to make it. We had to lock him into a contract. But I thought he played his best game tonight, and he's sharpening his tools. And is going to be valuable in a variety of roles.
You want a couple more?
I'll take more if people are out there.
Yeah.
I'll go until everybody doesn't want to go.
Let's see. What are your thoughts about Latif Blessing? You think he could be a starter?
I think you'll see both. I think Latif Blessing, per Ben Olsen's a squad player. I think the same thing. But look, you may get his first start in the next game based on the fact that Coco's not here.
Yeah.
So let's keep an eye on that one heading into next week.
Dylan, what do you make of the Dynamo being bounced out of the Champions League? When you look at the results game by game, it feels like the Dynamo are a few pieces away from being a legitimate threat in the West.
I think they're a few pieces away right now. A lot of injuries. I thought more would have been done at the striker position. But I'm not the guy making the choices. I think Pat Onstad has made a move here to continue to kind of broaden out some attacking options. It's not an out-and-out striker. I think they're sitting pat. I think they're, not to be, what was that? What do they call that? I just said sitting pat. That's called a Freudian slip? No, not a Freudian, whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. But I think really right now at this point, until the summer, they're putting their eggs in the basket of Sebas Ferreira. Yeah. Anything else?
No. That's it.
I think everybody did well here. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I'm not going to read any of these tweets. We can do some of that on Soccer Matters. Don't forget to join us, 6 o'clock Central Time, Soccer Matters, ESPN 97.5. For those of you who listen in, do the podcast, like any of this stuff, I hate being a cheerleader. I really don't like doing it, but I've made a commitment to do more of it because I don't want to play to, 5 people. We've put a lot of effort into radio down here, keeping it on the air all these years. You've helped me keep it on. And with this kind of conversation tonight, this is good stuff. So I thank everybody for weighing in tonight. Very much appreciate it. And what's our next game? Colorado at home here? No, San Jose, I think.
Yes, so the next pre- and post-match, be on the lookout for it, will be, I just had it up, March 30th. March 30th. So pregame show, 7 o'clock. Post-game show following shortly after.
Yes.
See how the team does against Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado's going to be a challenge. Altitude, new team, new coach. So we'll see what happens up there. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. 6 o'clock Central Time. I'll give some tickets away Monday to the Dynamo San Jose game. Thanks a lot, everybody. You made this a great show.